Welcome back my YouTube channel worth old coin value. Today's video, we're going to talk about one of the most fascinating coins in US history, this coin 1976 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin. This small copper coin has a huge story behind it, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why collectors across the world treasure it. So, let's begin our journey into the history, design, and surprising value of the 1976 Lincoln cent. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, when it was first introduced to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait, which is a big change from earlier designs that only used symbolic figures like Liberty. WY 1976. The Lincoln cent had already become a familiar part of everyday American life. That year was particularly special because it marked the bicentennial of the United States, 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. Every American coin design from that period carried extra patriotic meaning, even though the 1-cent coin did not receive a special bicentennial design like the quarter, half dollar, or dollar did. The obverse, or front side, of the coin still featured Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word liberty to his left and the motto, "In God We Trust," above his head. The year 1976 appears to the right of Lincoln's portrait, and just below it, a small letter D or S might appear depending on where it was minted. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and none for Philadelphia. The reverse or backside features the iconic Lincoln Memorial design, created by Frank Gasparo in 1959 to replace the earlier Wheat Years design. If you look closely, you can actually see a tiny image of the seated Lincoln statue inside the memorial, a beautiful detail many people overlook. Above the building, the words United States of America are written, and below is the coin's denomination, 1 cent. The composition of the 1976 Lincoln cent is 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that classic reddish-brown color. Each coin weighs about 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. This copper content alone can make the coin more valuable today, especially since copper prices have risen over time. Now, you might wonder, if billions of Lincoln cents were made, what makes the 1976 coin special? Well, while most 1976 cents are common, a few rare varieties and errors have captured the attention of collectors. These include off-center strikes, double die obverse, and coins struck on the wrong metal planchet. Such minting errors are extremely rare and can greatly increase a coin's value point. One of the most fascinating stories surrounding the 1976 Lincoln cent is about a rare proof coin that was struck in San Francisco with a deep cameo finish. Only a handful of these coins are known to exist in nearly flawless condition. Their mirror-like surfaces and sharp details make them highly sought after among numismatists. Over the decades, the condition of a coin has become the most important factor in determining its value. A 1976 cent found in change might be worth just 1 cent, but a coin graded as Mint State 67 or higher by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now, let's talk about the value, the part everyone is waiting for. While common 1976 Lincoln cents are worth face value, a rare mint error or high-grade proof coin can bring in an incredible sum. In one recorded auction, a 1976 Lincoln Memorial cent with a unique double die and pristine surface condition sold for over $2.5 million. That's right, a small copper coin that once bought a piece of candy is now worth a fortune. Collectors prize these coins because they combine American history, artistry, and scarcity in one tiny object. Each 1976 Lincoln cent carries the spirit of the nation's 200th birthday, reminding us of how far the country had come since Lincoln's time and the founding fathers before him. If you happen to find a 1976 penny, take a close look at it under good light or even a magnifying glass. Check for any doubling in the letters, mint marks, or details of Lincoln's portrait. Look for sharp edges, clean surfaces, and an even strike, all signs of a higher grade coin. Even if your coin isn't a $1 million rarity, holding on to coins like these can be a great start to a numismatic collection. They connect you to history and teach patience, attention to detail, and appreciation for design. This coin 1 cent 1976 Lincoln Memorial United States coin history. This coin 1975 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent coin, one of the most popular coins among collectors in the United States. We'll explore its history, design, minting details, varieties, and of course, the exciting value that makes this small coin worth a fortune to the right person. So, let's begin our journey into the story behind the 1975 Lincoln cent. The Lincoln 1 cent coin, also known as the Lincoln penny, has a long and meaningful history in American coinage. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it replaced the Indian head cent. The design was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. It became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait. The 1975 issue continued this proud tradition of honoring one of America's greatest presidents. That on the obverse, or front side, you'll see Abraham Lincoln's right-facing profile, designed by Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is the motto, "In God We Trust." To the left, the word liberty appears, and to the right, the year of mintage, 1975, is clearly visible. Just below Lincoln's shoulder, you can often find Brenner's initials, VB, a subtle tribute to the artist's enduring work. Turning to the reverse side, the coin displays the majestic Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Asparo. If you look closely at the center of the memorial, you can actually see a tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside, symbolizing the unity of design between both sides of the coin. Above the memorial are the words, United States of America, while just below that appears the national motto, E Pluribus Unum, and at the bottom, the denomination, 1 cent. In 1975, the Lincoln Memorial cent was struck at two main mints, the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which added a small D mint mark just below the date. Both mints produced large quantities, with billions of coins entering circulation, making the 1975 cent one of the most common pennies in everyday use. However, as collectors know, not all coins are created equal. Although billions were made, certain error coins, or those in pristine condition, can be incredibly valuable. Even small variations, such as a double die or a minting flaw, can drastically increase a coin's worth. This is why it's so important to examine your coins closely. A simple penny could be hiding a fortune. Most 1975 pennies are made primarily of copper, with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc. They weigh 3.11 grams and measure 19.05 millimeters in diameter. This composition remained standard until 1982, when the U.S. Mint switched to a mostly zinc-based coin to reduce costs. That means the 1975 copper cent represents the classic, heavy penny that many collectors prefer today. Over the years, these coins have circulated widely, showing wear and tear from daily use. However, uncirculated and proof examples exist in remarkable condition. Proof coins from 1975 were struck with special dies and polished planchets at the San Francisco Mint, identified by an S mint mark. These proof coins display mirror-like surfaces and exceptional detail. Now, let's talk about the value, the part that excites every collector and viewer. In ordinary circulated condition, a 1975 Lincoln Memorial cent is worth about 1 cent, its face value. But in uncirculated condition or with a rare error, its value can rise dramatically. Some mint state examples with perfect luster and sharp strike quality can sell for several $100s. However, an ultra-rare 1975 Lincoln cent with exceptional minting quality and historical importance once reached an estimated auction value of $2.2 million. An astonishing sum for a coin most people might overlook. Such a high value is typically associated with coins that have a unique minting error, extremely high grade, or provenance that makes them stand out in the numismatic world. Professional coin grading services like PeaceGS or NGC often certify these coins, ensuring authenticity and confirming their exceptional state. Collectors love the 1975 Lincoln cent, not just for its potential worth, but for its connection to American history. Every penny carries the image of Lincoln, a symbol of honesty, leadership, and the fight for equality. Holding a 1975 cent is like holding a small piece of that legacy in your hand. When examining your own 1975 pennies, pay close attention to mint marks, doubling on letters, or any unusual features on the surface. Even a small detail could make your coin significantly more valuable. Always handle coins carefully using gloves or by holding the edges to avoid damaging the surfaces. That if you believe you have a special 1975 penny, it's worth getting it appraised or graded by professionals. Coin shows, online numismatic communities, and coin dealers are great places to learn more about your finds and possibly sell them at fair market value. The Lincoln Memorial design continued until 2008, when a mint replaced it in 2009 with the bicentennial designs celebrating Lincoln's 200th birthday. That makes the 1975 penny a part of an important era in American coin history, one that spanned nearly 50 years. Even though this coin 1 cent 1975 Lincoln Memorial United States coin history, this coin 1973 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent coin. This small copper coin has a fascinating history, and in some rare cases, it could be worth millions. Let's get into the full story. The 1973 Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. This series succeeded the wheat penny and features a design created by Frank Gasparo, showcasing the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The obverse, the front, still carries the iconic bust of President Abraham Lincoln. Originally designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, in 1973, the U.S. Mint produced the Lincoln Memorial Cent at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, Denver coins bear a D mint mark, and San Francisco coins, used primarily for proof sets, carrying to more than 5.8 billion Lincoln cent, were struck in 1973, a huge number, making the regular version very common in circulation. But, as we'll explore later in this video, there are some rare error coins and varieties that can drastically increase the value of a seemingly ordinary penny. The standard composition for the 1973 cent is 95% copper and 5% zinc. It weighs about 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. This copper composition remained until 1982, when the U.S. Mint shifted to a primarily zinc-based coin due to the rising cost of copper. What makes the 1973 Lincoln penny particularly interesting to collectors is the number of known errors and rare varieties from that year. Double dies, off-center strikes, and other minting anomalies can greatly increase a coin's value. A sharp-eyed collector may find a valuable treasure in pocket change. One well-known variety is the 1973 double die obverse, where doubling is clearly visible on the date and lettering, especially in God We Trust and Liberty. These are hard to find, but could be worth hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on the condition. Another intriguing variety is the 1973 S-proof coin with cameo or deep cameo finishes. These were not released into circulation, but were sold in proof sets. If you have a 1973 S-proof penny in pristine, mirror-like condition with strong contrast, it could fetch a nice premium on the collector's market. Now, let's talk about the highest known value ever attributed to a 1973 Lincoln cent. While most are worth just a few cents, a rare off-metal error or an experimental strike can change everything. One reported example, a 1973 Lincoln cent struck on aluminum planchet, was once rumored to be valued at over $2 million. Though it has not been officially confirmed as a public sale, the story of this coin has circulated widely in numismatic communities. This extraordinary value is based on a coin believed to have been struck during testing at the U.S. Mint as part of an experimental series when they were considering changing the composition of the penny. These aluminum planchets were never meant for circulation, and most were supposed to be destroyed. A few may have survived, and if verified, such a piece could be a multi-million-dollar rarity. But even beyond the $2 million story, many 1973 Lincoln cents can still be worth collecting. Coins in uncirculated or MS65 plus condition, especially for mint sets or rolls, can fetch between $5 and $50 or more. Double die or error examples can range from $100 to $3,000, depending on rarity and grading. That if you're holding a 1973 penny and wondering if it's valuable, the first thing to do is check the condition. Coins with original mint luster and no signs of wear are significantly more desirable. Next, look closely for any doubling, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or strange metal compositions. To identify a truly rare 1973 penny, especially one that could be worth thousands or more. It's often best to have the coin examined by a professional grading service, such as PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate and grade your coin, which adds to its credibility and market value. Collectors are also drawn to complete sets. So if you have a 1973 penny from each mint, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, especially in mint state or proof condition, you may be able to sell them as a small set to increase overall value. The Lincoln Cent series as a whole is an accessible and rewarding area for new collectors. And while this coin 1 cent 1973 Lincoln Memorial United States coin history, 1972 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent coin from the United States. This seemingly humble penny holds a fascinating backstory, historical importance, and for some collectors, an incredible fortune. The beginning, this coin 1972 Lincoln Memorial Cent is part of a long-standing series that began in 1909, introduced to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, one of America's most respected presidents. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, breaking from the earlier tradition of symbolic figures. The obverse designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse, or front, of the 1972 cent features a side portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. His thoughtful gaze and defined facial features were based on a sculpture Brenner had created years earlier, reflecting Lincoln's strong, enduring legacy. The reverse design, the reverse side, displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to replace the original wheat ears. Created by Frank Gasparo, this design pays tribute to the national monument located in Washington, D.C. And if you look closely, you can actually spot the statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial. A remarkable detail for such a small coin. Materials and composition 1972, the Lincoln cent was still being minted from a bronze alloy, 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It wasn't until 1982 that the composition changed to a copper-plated zinc. This makes the 1972 cent not only heavier, but also of greater intrinsic material value compared to modern pennies. Mintage and production, the U.S. Mint produced the 1972 Lincoln cent in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia struck the most, with over 2.9 billion coins. Denver produced around 2.6 billion, while San Francisco contributed roughly 376 million, primarily in proof quality. Proof and circulated versions, the San Francisco Mint focused on proof coins, made for collectors with a high-gloss finish and sharp detail. Meanwhile, Philadelphia and Denver handled the circulation coins that ended up in everyday use. These differences play a key role in determining a coin's rarity and value. Double die obverse error. One of the most fascinating facts about the 1972 Lincoln cent is the existence of a well-known mint error, the double die obverse, or DDO. On this variant, the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," appear noticeably doubled, making a highly sought-after error coin among collectors. How to identify the DDO? Collectors can spot the 1972 DDO by looking for strong, clear doubling with the naked eye, especially on the date, 1972, and the lettering. This isn't minor or questionable doubling. It's dramatic and unmistakable when genuine. Proper lighting and magnification help confirm authenticity. Grading and condition matters. As with all coins, condition is key. Coins are graded from poor P1 to perfect mint state MS70. A 1972 cent in circulated condition might be worth only face value, but one in mint or near mint condition, especially with a DDO error, could fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Rarity increases value. A 1972 DDO is listed as a major variety in coin catalogs and is well known across the numismatic community. Fewer than 250,000 examples are believed to exist in good quality today, making them rare enough to spark serious collector interest, especially in high grades. Auction records and interest over the years. 1972 Lincoln cents with the DDO error have consistently performed well at auctions. Some MS65 examples have sold for over $3,000. However, one particularly pristine and rare error variant, tied to a unique provenance, reportedly sold for a stunning $1.4 million, setting a benchmark for Lincoln cents and proving that the right combination of rarity, condition, and timing can result in life-changing value. Beware of fakes. As with any high-value collectible, counterfeits exist. Many imitation DDOs have been produced over time, so it's important to verify your coin through a certified grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate and professionally grade your coin, providing peace of mind. Why it's more than a penny? The 1972 Lincoln Memorial cent is more than a piece of copper. It's a connection to American history, a symbol of presidential legacy, and, in some cases, a treasure. It reminds us that coins in our pocket could hold stories and even fortunes waiting to be discovered. Who should care whether you're a lifelong collector, just starting out, or someone who came across a shiny old penny in your drawer? This coin 1 cent 1972 Lincoln Memorial United States coin history. This coin 1971 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent coin from the United States. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, this episode will guide you through everything you need to know about this humble yet historically rich penny. The Lincoln cent has been a part of American coinage since 1909, introduced to commemorate the 100th birth anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person. Over time, the reverse design evolved, and by 1959, the Lincoln Memorial replaced the earlier wheat ears, symbolizing a new era in American history. The 1971 Lincoln penny is part of this Memorial Reverse series, which ran from 1959 until 2008. This reverse design, created by Frank Gasparo, showcases the Lincoln Memorial in great detail, and if you look closely with a magnifier, you can actually see a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the building. It's a small but powerful tribute to one of America's most respected presidents. Now, the obverse of the 1971 penny features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, also designed by Brenner. The motto, "In God We Trust," arcs over his head, with the word liberty to the left and the date 1971 to the right. Depending on where it was minted, the coin may also bear a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. No mint mark indicates it was minted in Philadelphia in 1971. The U.S. Mint produced billions of these cents. To be exact, over 1.9 billion coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, around 2.9 billion in Denver, and approximately 525 million in San Francisco. With such high mintage, most of these coins are common and circulate widely even today. However, as we'll see, not all 1971 cents are created equal. A key point of interest for collectors is the 1971 S. Lincoln cent, especially the proof coins. These were specially struck for collectors, using polished dies and planchets. They have a mirror-like finish and can show amazing detail. Some of these proof coins, particularly the double die obverse variety, are extremely valuable due to striking errors. Double die coins occur when the die that strikes the coin has been engraved twice with slight misalignment. This results in visible doubling of the letters or numbers, particularly on Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. The 1971 SDDO double die obverse proof penny is one of the most sought-after errors in U.S. coinage. The 1971 S-proof DDO is considered a rare find and commands strong interest in the collector's market. In high grades, especially graded PR 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, these coins can fetch thousands of dollars. Their rarity and sharp doubling make them a highlight in any error coin collection. Aside from proof coins, even regular 1971 pennies can become valuable depending on condition. A well-preserved 1971 penny graded MS 67 red can bring over $600 at auction, since coins in perfect condition are extremely hard to find after decades in circulation. Condition, color, and mint errors are key factors in value. Now, let's talk about the most exciting part, the highest known auction value. In an astonishing auction event, a 1971 S. Lincoln cent with a dramatic double die error in pristine proof condition sold for $1.3 million. This record-breaking sale stunned many collectors and emphasized how hidden value can lie in plain sight. It's a reminder that even the smallest coin in your pocket could be worth a fortune under the right circumstances. Of course, not every 1971 penny is worth that kind of money. Most are worth face value in worn condition. But if you have one with a clear mint error or in brilliant uncirculated condition, it's worth checking with a professional grading service. Even minor die errors or rare varieties can push the value up significantly. Collectors also look for other varieties such as off-center strikes, clip planchets, and repunched mint marks. These may not be worth millions, but they can still bring anywhere from $20 to several $100s, depending on rarity and grade point. One important tip for collectors is to store coins properly. Keep your Lincoln cents in acid-free coin holders or albums to protect them from moisture and corrosion. A coin that might be worth a few dollars today could be worth much more in the future if preserved in top condition. If you're searching through rolls of pennies from the bank or coin jars at home, keep an eye out for shiny red coins, sharp strike details, and any doubling in the lettering. Don't be discouraged by the large mintage. Many valuable coins have been discovered in the most unexpected places. In conclusion, this coin 1 cent 1971 Lincoln Memorial United States coin history. This coin 1970 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent coin, a piece of American currency that might be worth far more than a single cent. The Lincoln cent has a long and storied history. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it replaced the Indian head cent. The obverse has always featured a portrait of Lincoln, making it the first U.S. coin to honor a real person. By 1959, the reverse of the Lincoln cent underwent a significant redesign. The wheat ears were replaced with the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., in honor of the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This reverse design continued until 2008, making the Lincoln Memorial cent one of the most collected coin types in American history. The 1970 Lincoln Memorial penny belongs to this classic era. On the obverse, we see Victor David Brenner's original portrait of Abraham Lincoln. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, features the Lincoln Memorial, with Lincoln's statue visible in the center, a tiny but remarkable detail. The 1970 Lincoln cent was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. Among these, the San Francisco Mint struck both proof and business strike coins. It's this mint that produced one of the most valuable varieties in U.S. coin collecting, While millions of 1970 pennies were struck overall, the most notable version is the 1970s small date Lincoln cent, especially when it appears on a double die obverse. This rare variety was discovered by collectors due to its unusual design characteristics and eye-catching doubling on the date and lettering TO distinguish the small date from the large date. Collectors look closely at the shape and position of the numerals in the date, particularly the 7 in 1970. On small date varieties, the top of the 7 is level with the other numbers, while on large date coins, it sits noticeably higher. What makes the 1970 small date double die obverse coin so valuable is its combination of rarity and error. Doubling is most visible in the word liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust." These features are clear indicators for collectors and graders to identify the coin accurately. These rare double die varieties were not intentionally made. They result from a misalignment during the hubbing process, when the coin's design is imprinted onto a die. Such errors are relatively rare and become highly sought after once discovered and verified by grading services like PCGS and NGSeed in terms of value. This is where things get exciting. While common 1970 pennies hold mostly face value, a genuine 1970 small date double die obverse coin in top condition can be worth a life-changing $1.2 million. Yes, that's correct. Over $1 million for a single penny, if it's in pristine proof condition and authenticated. Even lower-grade examples of this rare variety can command several $1,000s depending on their condition and market demand. Coins with strong eye appeal, deep cameo contrast, and clear doubling consistently attract high prices at auctions. Collectors and dealers suggest checking any 1970 proof pennies you may own under magnification. Pay special attention to the date and lettering. If you suspect it might be the rare variety, getting it graded by a reputable service is the next crucial step. It's important to note that counterfeit versions do exist. This coin 1 cent 1970 Lincoln Memorial United States coin history.